right, we are live. So today is officially the first episode of the Thumb Strong podcast, which is our new name, along with our new brand, Thumb Health and Fitness. So today we're actually going to talk about the rebrand and why we did it, what the plan is, and I also want to go into just our core services because they have evolved over the years a lot. So we want to kind of go into detail on what they all are and why we have them. So the reason that we rebranded is because obviously when I first took over the gym, it was mostly just me. There was a few independent group instructors. I already had the name from my personal training, and I just kept the name. And we've obviously grown a lot. You guys are all on the team. The team has grown. It's a lot. It's more than just me. And our mission has expanded. So instead of just trying to help people within Sandusky and within about a 5-mile radius, we want to try to impact people in the Thumb of Michigan. So it was only fitting that we rebranded to the name Thumb Health and Fitness. We kept the TH Fitness vibe, but it encompasses what the mission really is a whole lot better. So I'm actually really, really excited about it. Hopefully you guys are excited about it as well. We've got the new swag I think everybody really likes. Yeah. So that's been very cool. So that is kind of why I chose to do it. It aligns with the mission. It fits what we're trying to do a whole lot better, and it involves everyone. It's not just Taylor Hutchinson, because when people come in, they expect, they've mistaken Bethany for me.
How many times?
A lot of times. So hopefully it'll just make everything a lot easier moving forward in the future. And if for whatever reason, if we ever do expand and have more than one location, we're going to try to stay within the Thumb, and it'll just work out really, really well that way too. So getting into kind of a little bit about what our mission is and what our plan is to help people in the Thumb, we'll go into our services first. So the biggest thing that we do that not a whole lot of people know about is our transformation programs. And when I meet with people about this, I tell them straight up, this is not a quick fix program. If you want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, this is not for you. This is for if you want to create a lifestyle change, if you want to become a better version of yourself physically and mentally. We created it because after being a personal trainer for 9 years, I've literally seen and helped 1,000 people get started in the gym with fitness. A lot of times those people don't always achieve their goals because they're working out 2, 3, 4 hours a week. We don't know what they're doing the other 165, 166 hours in the week. So that's what these programs do, is we focus on the healthy habits outside of the gym along with the training in the gym. And I'll let Bethany go in a little bit about what we do within the programs with the nutrition and the mindset and the accountability, because that's all things that people kind of struggle with aside from just working out itself.
Mm-hmm. So for our transformation programs, they've also changed a bit since we've started. We started it with being 9-week programs, and they're now 12 weeks because we decided, people seem to need a little bit more time generally to really cement the habits in, if not longer. Usually it takes a little bit longer than that, but at least adding a little bit of extra time will give them a little bit of extra coaching to see great results and all that kind of stuff in case things pop up. The biggest thing with the transformation programs, there's all these pillars of mindset, training, the nutrition, and then just lifestyle habits. And so focusing on each one of those and incorporating that into people's lives in a way that is tailored to them. So it's not just hey, you're going to do this and it's the same progression as everybody. It's working with everybody completely individually and personalizing it to them, still having the same framework to work from, but then it's hey, all right, this person comes in at a way different place than this person did. If I were to make a program for Lauren, it's going to be way different than what I would make for Caitlin, because they're two different people, 2 different needs, 2 different backgrounds, 2 different goals probably. And meeting people where they're at and then designing the program from there to have a whole person transformation. It's not just a physical transformation. That's, people like to get caught up on that, and I get it. Like, you want to look better. You want the scale to go down. I understand, and that's what you're used to seeing from other fitness programs. But what we're trying to promote is that it's a life change, and it's a health change. It's not a weight scale change, or just
it's not a weight loss program.
Right, not a weight loss program. It's a program to get you happier and healthier, stronger, and a better version of yourself by the end of
the rest of your life.
Yep. For the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's our goal, is to build this foundation of healthy habits in 12 weeks. And then obviously it's up to you and the coach, if you choose to work with them, to continue on until it becomes part of your lifestyle, until you wake up and you're like, I am a healthy and fit person. This is what I do. Until you identify yourself as a healthy person, we want to just help you get to that point. So yeah, I really think we've gotten into a point where it's a whole lifestyle transformation. Especially another reason we added 3 weeks on is because Bethany's doing the mindset coaching along with it. And so to work on nutrition, to work on fitness, to work on other lifestyle habits, like maybe it's water intake, maybe it's sleep, maybe it's just stress management, maybe it's just building a routine to where you can actually do the things that you need to do in your day. Because a lot of people that we've worked with, they don't have any kind of structure to their routine, and that's why they don't make it to the gym. That's why they don't meal prep, because they don't sit down and create, okay, when am I going to do everything? How can I maximize my productivity? That's something we help with. So, and then we incorporated the mindset, because at the end of the day, we could work out all we want, we could eat as healthy as we want, but if we're still telling ourselves you're not good enough, you're too out of shape, if we're still telling ourselves that we're somebody that we don't want to be, you're never going to really break through and live the life you want. So it's the stories that we tell ourselves really determine who we're going to be and the direction we're going to go.
Right. Yeah. And with the mindset piece, doing some little bits and pieces here and there with the transformation, but then also long sessions. So it's like a personal training session, but for your mind. Like, we're working through, and it's like, all right, we're trying to get fitter minds as well. And through that, working on the stories that you tell yourself. That's what mindset is. It's the stories that you tell yourself about yourself, and then also about other things in the world. Because if you tell yourself the story of, I can't lose weight, I can't, I've tried all these different things and it doesn't work for me. Okay, so then any new thing you try, you already have that story in your head that it's not going to work. So you already know going in, I'm probably going to fall off. And so what are the chances of you succeeding if you keep believing that story? And so you need to change the stories that you tell yourself by changing the words that you use, and then that is going to influence your actions. And so that's what we focus on.
Talk about, just really quickly, about some of those soft talk words that you were talking about earlier that a lot of us commonly use, especially we're kicking off a new year. There's 1 million people across the nation that have resolutions right now. Why do most people fall off or fail on their resolutions?
So a big thing is, biting off more than you can chew, but also the way that you talk to yourself about what you're doing. So if you say, oh man, I have to go to the gym today. And we've talked about this before.
Start going to the gym this year.
Yeah, I have to make sure I go to the gym today. And it's like, when you say I have to, doesn't it sound like an obligation? Like you're being obligated, or you're being forced to. You have to force yourself to do it. And it's like, doesn't that just sound tiring? Having to force yourself to go all the time? I'm like, we don't have to force ourselves to do it. Like, yeah, okay, some days are easier than others, but we're not forcing ourselves. We're just like, yeah, I'm going to do my workout today.
I get to work out today.
Yeah. Like, we don't always say that either. I'm just going to say that right now. Like, we're not always like, yeah, I get to do my workout today. It's like, yep, going to get my workout in today.
Yep.
It's just is.
Or
there's nothing attached to it.
Yeah. I think the one that more commonly is, like what you were saying earlier, is people are like, I should probably should probably start eating healthier. I should probably start working out. I'll try to work out. I'll try to eat healthier. Yeah. That's setting yourself up for failure long term. Because basically, if you do fail, it's like, I tried, and you're okay with it.
Because you thought about it.
Yeah.
Or like you tried it for a couple of days, and you're like, well, I tried, and it didn't work for me.
A for effort.
Yep. Yeah. So that is stuff that we go into and try to help people with. So that's one of our programs. The 12-week, we also have a 6-week. That's like a lighter version of that a lot of people have had really good success with. The next thing I want to talk about is we try to really make a personalized fitness experience here. And what I mean by that is before somebody, you can't really just go on our website and sign up for something, because honestly, you might not know what you need, and we don't know what you need until we meet you and get to know you and understand your goals. And that is why 9 times out of 10, we recommend meeting with either Bethany or myself or one of you guys and talking about, okay, what are your goals? What have you tried? What do you struggle with? Do you struggle with motivation and accountability? Okay, maybe you need some sort of training. And that's why we have one-on-one personal training. We now have the small group personal training. We have large group training, which is like our classes. And then we obviously have the 24/7 access gym for those people that do want to work out on their own. So we can actually create a personalized fitness experience depending on what somebody needs and what their goals are. And just to kind of go in a little bit on each of those, our one-on-one training is great for people that want a really personalized workout. Maybe they have some sort of limitation or injury they need to work around, so they can't necessarily do it in a class setting because it may be too hard. Somebody that's just starting out that wants that one-on-one attention to gain confidence with exercising, that's another great time. Or somebody that needs a specific time and they can't make it to some of the classes, they want to come in when it's convenient for them. That's where the one-on-one is a great option. The small group combines kind of a little bit of both with the large group and the one-on-one, because you're getting a personalized session. You can pick the time as long as it works with the other people. It's capped at 5, so it's 2 to 5 people. So you're getting a little bit of the one-on-one training, but you're also getting the energy and the camaraderie and accountability from the other group members. So if you guys want to touch on a little bit about like what you do in the sessions, how do you modify it for each person? What does your workout structure look like? Kind of go into a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered it. It's, I mean, everybody's a little bit different. So at the start, you obviously need to build a relationship with them, which is actually my favorite part, is like getting to know them, talking to them, chit-chatting, and working out. And so you get to know them, you get to know their limitations and their strengths and their weaknesses, and we can build a program around that, really. So it's fun. It's kind of like, hey, you're just hanging out sometimes, it feels like, but you're getting a workout in.
So it makes it fun for the client.
Yeah.
It makes it a little more enjoyable.
Yeah. Especially when you get to know each other.
The big point of that is, I think from just like the internet and stuff like that, like people automatically think one-on-one trainer is like you're getting a drill sergeant and you're getting yelled at, and we're gonna make you do all this stuff that you don't want to do. It's like that's complete opposite. Like, we actually would prefer it if you actually liked what you're doing, so that you kept doing it for a long time. Because as most people listening know, we are all about consistency and sustainability. Whatever you can do consistently for long term, you're going to get the best results. It's not killing yourself every single session, because there's going to be a point where you're like, no more, I'm not going to do that anymore. You're going to give up. So
we push you when we need to push you.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If you're talking too much, I'll let you know. And I'll, motivate you and push you to do one more rep or go up a little bit in weight. And it's just mutual. Communication between me and the client is what helps me know, okay, I shouldn't push you any further. Or, you know what I mean? So it's all about that.
And it's like the longer you've been with someone, like whether we've been with them for 3 years in classes, right? You know the person, you know their temperament, like, if you can, what you can say to them, what you can't. And like, if they need a little bit more push, and be like, don't yell at them, but you're strongly encouraging them to keep going. And I use the example of Bill during the open at class one day, and we had a group of people here, and he's going, and we're yelling at him to keep going. Like, we're like, don't put it down, keep going, go, right? Like, actually yelling at him. But in those very specific moments is when we do that type of
and he thanks us for it, because he ended up. It's kind of funny because when you do that, people end up doing something that they didn't think they could, or they pushed past a limit that they never thought possible.
Yeah.
And that's where true like transformation really happens. It's like, oh wow, I can do this. What else can I do? Type of thing. You know, like this morning, it was really cool. So Mickey, three of our members came and worked out. They do our large group training Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I program 6 workouts, so they come in Tuesdays and Thursdays to get extra workouts in. And at the end of it, they were looking at the level method map, and Allison was like, okay, what do I need to do to get up to the next level? And it's push-ups, upper body push. And she was in the yellow. She was looking at orange. It was 1 push-up, and then 3, and then 5, and then 10, I believe. And so she did 1, and everybody's like, you can do 3, and we're like cheering her on, and she did 3.
Well, at first she said, I can't do 3.
Yes.
She said, I can't do it.
Yes.
And everyone's like, just try. Like, just try.
Just try it.
She never would have tried if she didn't have a little bit of almost good peer pressure.
Very friendly motivation.
Yes. Yeah, they weren't like being mean. They were like, just try it. Like, if you fail, you fail. But hey, just try. And she did
At least you know.
Did it.
Yeah.
And then what
And
they
it
do,
was
they
so
all
cool.
high-five at the end. She was super stoked.
It was so cool. Yeah.
That's my favorite moments right there.
Yeah, that's what the personal trainer is there for. It's
Yeah.
like we more so for some people, they're like, we need to hold them back of like, okay, we need to not grab the super heavyweights right now. We need to focus on form, right?
Yes.
But then there's some people where you're like, okay, let me give you these heavier weights. And they're like, I don't know, like those look pretty heavy. And it's like, just try it. Like, just see if you can get 6 reps for me. And then they get 6 reps. It's like, all right, cool. It's like, and it's like, how was that? And they're like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And you're like, all right, see, like, you know, you kind of need to believe in them more than they'll believe in themselves of what they're capable of. And, you know, as long as you have that trust built, right? Like we build the trust, like you said, build a relationship. So in that way they trust of like, okay, he says I can do it, so I'm going to try. And then, you know, do something that they didn't think they could do.
Yeah.
That builds confidence too.
A couple things on that. So one, we always meet you where you're at. So like people automatically think like, oh, I can't do all that stuff that they see. Well, we start you out at a much easier level. We progress you up to where you can do all that stuff. So we meet you where you're at. So we're not going to make you do anything you can't do. We teach form and then tempo and then weight, right? We want to make sure you can do it correctly first. But the other thing that I just realized telling that story with Mickey and Katie and Allison is a lot of people think that when they come to a group class, everybody's going to be looking at them and judging them, right? Whereas we have the complete opposite experience. Our group members are genuinely like the best human beings ever. Like they literally cheer each other on and get each other to do better. Like they're not judging you for using a light weight. It's like, you can do it. Like you can do more weight. You know what I mean? So it's complete opposite of what most people think when they step into a group class. It's like, oh, they're going to be looking at me, judging me. And it's like, no, they're going to be motivating you and inspiring you, which is, we just saw that this morning. And that was organic. Like we weren't doing a session. They were just working out on their own.
And that's just how it always is. Like,
And that's how it is.
always.
We call it the Fit Family. It's a family-like community. Everybody's friends. I mean, when you have a class and then half the class hangs out for 20 minutes after and chit-chats, you know, that's like the best thing ever. It's social hour. So they get a great workout in, plus a great way to build relationships. But, anything else on, we maybe touch on a little bit of like what a session looks like. What do you do from start to finish a little bit? Just kind of like the structure.
Like the first session, or like, I mean,
A generic session. Like what do you do?
So we always do like a warm up. I feel like we all kind of have a similar warm up. It's kind of like with
general warm up.
Fit camp, boot camp. We all do the same typical warm up for 5 minutes ish, and then we usually go and do some sort of strength. Sometimes I like to get into strength exercises depending how often that client comes in each week. So like maybe a lower body one and then an upper body strength, or sometimes you just have time for one strength. But anyways, we do a strength. And then I like to go and do some accessory work. And then I like to do some sort of like Metcon, and then core. It's really similar to a class, but kind of individualized, again, depending on like what that client wants. Like the one client I have right now, she specifically is like, okay, I want to build muscle. So like, and Delore and I both work with her. So she came in today and she was saying how sore she was from her workout yesterday. I was like, well, we're tearing your muscles apart so we can build them back stronger. So we're doing more, I would say, more strength with her right now but she also wants to do Metcons and keep
so you still have
cardio.
that in there.
So
just the focus is on the strength. And
more focus on strength versus the Metcon right now. And then if there's time, finishing with some core at the end and stretching.
Cool. Very similar with large group. Me and Bethany do most of the large group. So we have the boot camp, we have the beginner strength, and we have fit camp. And it's kind of like 3 different levels, sort of. Beginner strength is like our 50-plus women. They love that class. It's kind of in their own little section back there so they can hang out. It's not intimidating whatsoever. So it's a great place for people to start. If you're brand new, it's all females, so it's a little bit more introductory for the ladies to get started. Less intimidating, but they do mostly interval training and they try to do full body. So it's just a timer that goes off. You work for say 30 seconds, you rest for say 15, and you'll do a couple different exercises at each station. You cycle through the stations and you do that for about 30 to 40 minutes. Very similar to the boot camp. The difference with the boot camp is there's a lot more variety on the exercises, a little bit more functional and probably metabolic conditioning type exercises built in, if you want to touch on that.
Yeah. And also Mary Jo, Taylor's mom, is the one that does beginner strength. So, just different instructors for a little bit different crowd, different vibe. And to touch on that, so we do 25 seconds of work, 25 rest. Pretty simple each time. Same thing for 4 rounds at each station. You do a couple exercises at one, then you move to the next one. But it gets your cardio up because you're doing the supersets, and it's, you're resting enough to still get the strength and the muscle building benefits as long as you're pushing yourself hard enough. And that's the other part, is that anybody can do it. So this morning I had some of the guys over here, they're benching with 80-pound dumbbells for dumbbell bench press. And then, we got somebody else using 12s. And it's, all the different levels can do the same workout. And it's just very tailored to them with that interval style training. So yes, if you don't want to work out with any super fit people, like there's going to be a few in the classes, but for the most part, it's like my mom does it. It's just very general. It's just, general gym goers.
Yeah, I would say anybody across the board, male and female, can do that class. And like Brandon Stellaker, he's in his 30s. He does our fit camps, but he's like, that boot camp was tough. I'm ready to go back to fit camp. So it's all about the effort you put into it. That's what I love about interval training is you can have somebody brand new grab the 10s, go at their own pace. Maybe they do 6 reps. And then you got somebody like Brandon who's been coming for a while. They grab the 40s and they're doing 12 reps. So it's all about what you put into that session. And the cool thing is every week or every month you can slowly increase that intensity. And you're going to level up in the weights you use and the amount of reps that you get and the effort that you put in. We build in the cardio with like the bike and the rower and stuff like that. So obviously somebody new, it's just, hey, we just want you to move. Let's just get used to this, go at a pace that's comfortable, conversation. And then boom, next thing you know, a couple months later, they're cranking it out or whatever. So it's all scalable to your level, which is great. And then the fit camp is honestly the same thing. It's just we're incorporating the barbell is the biggest difference. We always start with a strength with the bar typically. Then we do an accessory or 2. And then the Metcons, the biggest difference with the Metcons is instead of intervals, it could be 3 or 4 different exercises for a certain number of reps that you do as fast as possible. So a 4-time workout, or we'll put 12 minutes on the clock and you got to do a certain number of exercises for as many rounds as possible. So the stimulus is a little bit different with some of those. So that's kind of the general description of those different services as far as the training goes. And then obviously we've got the 24/7 gym access where people can come in on their own. We do offer skills sessions for people that just want to learn how to do everything. So a lot of times people will do our beginner package. You come in, you do 2 sessions with us, teach you how to use everything in the gym with proper form and technique, and then at least you'll know what to do when you come in. So no matter what you want to do, we can fit you in somewhere, right? So we've got our training, we've got our coaching programs. Now I want to talk about kind of what are we doing for those people that aren't coming to our gym. How can they get help, and improve their health and their fitness? So that is where like this podcast comes into play. Like that's our goal with this podcast, is to try to educate people on health and fitness. The more you learn about it, the more it just makes sense to start implementing a lot of this stuff. A lot of people, quite frankly, just aren't educated on nutrition, on fitness, on general health, and healthy habits. So the more you can educate yourself, obviously the easier it is to implement some of these things. Yeah. So we have this Thumb Strong group on Facebook, and then we obviously do the Thumb Strong podcast with our YouTube. And then I try to create at least 4 or 5, if not maybe 6 different informational, educational posts on our pages every single week, just to teach people more about health and fitness. If you want to touch on kind of like your goal with what you want to do with like your YouTube too, go ahead and touch on that real quick too.
Yeah, just for my personal YouTube, I'm just going to be showing things that I do, things that I've learned over 8 years of working out and eating healthier, living healthier lifestyle. Things that I do that I believe that other people can take and use and adapt to themselves, just because, it gives them a little bit more of a firsthand account of what we do, because we have all these little hacks and tools and tricks that people aren't really aware of. And so, giving them options of like, hey, if you want to eat on a budget, this is really budget friendly stuff that you can get at Walmart for a grocery haul. And then here's how you meal prep it. And, just learning the skills through that. And it's a free resource for anybody. And then, just different things like that, or like some workout stuff, just some different things to get the message out there and to help people.
Yeah. Yep. We want to provide, as many free resources as possible. 1, educate people. 2, help them on their personal journey. And then 3, obviously they get to know us, and maybe they eventually, hey, like I really want to work with that person. One of our goals is obviously to get people in the gym with all of these different platforms that we're doing, the videos and the posts. But obviously, if you can't come to the gym, you can still apply a lot of this stuff at home. And we want to try to offer all this for free just to get you guys started. And then if you ever do need help, you can reach out and we can help you in any way. Mm-hmm. I personally don't care where somebody works out as long as they work out. I would rather have somebody start their fitness journey and say, hey, Taylor and Lauren, Caitlin, Bethany inspired me to start working out, and they're going to go to Cassidy to La Grosse or Marlette at Summit. Like, if we help change that person's life, that's my goal and mission. That's why I became a trainer. That's why I'm a gym owner. It's not we want everybody at our gym. It's we want to bring health and fitness to the Thumb of Michigan, because, quite frankly, it just hasn't been done. I mean, you go an hour south, and it's a completely different world. There's gyms in every corner. There's online coaches, there's nutritionists, there's all kinds of different stuff that people are doing. You come up here and there's none of that. And that's what we're trying to do, is offer those services here. So, yeah. Any final thoughts, you guys?
Exciting.
I think that's good. Yeah. Covers it.
For me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully this is helpful. The biggest thing to help us with our mission is, if you are watching this, aside from Denise, share it, like it.
Sure, he does that.
That really helps us. Yeah, Denise is always the one that does it. Bethany's mom is, by the way.
No, I'm fan.
Yeah, if you want to help us accomplish this mission, like share it with a friend, share it with a coworker, family member. Like it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And then I'm also going to do my very best to post this onto an actual podcast platform. So if you can't watch it, you can at least listen to it. So you can subscribe to that as well. So till next time, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys soon.